China. To date, China has delayed providing debt treatments to borrowers in debt distress, or has provided treatments that fall short of restoring the borrower's debt sustainability. We need to redouble our efforts to resolve ongoing cases like Zambia and Sri Lanka.
Millions of Americans could finally be receiving an even bigger monthly and even larger monthly benefit payment very soon. Top Democrats and Republicans are working together to help more Social Security beneficiaries and senior citizens financially during the crisis. I know many of you are wondering how you can boost your monthly Social Security benefit payments. Social Security retirement benefits have kept millions of seniors out of poverty. But while retirement benefits are well known and much anticipated, they are not the only kind of payments older Americans could be eligible for. It's best to understand all the different kinds of checks that you could potentially receive from the Social Security Administration, so that you don't leave money on the table. Social Security retirement benefits are earned benefits. The amount you receive is based on your work history, with benefits calculated based on average wages during the 35 years when you made the most money over the course of your career. Your benefit amount is also based on your age and when you first filed claim benefits. You can start as soon as 62, but must wait until your designated full retirement age to receive your full standard benefit. You also have the option to wait to start benefits beyond your retirement age to earn delayed retirement credits that increase retirement income. Retirement benefits are intended to replace about 40% of pre-retirement income, so they are not enough to live on by themselves, but can be a big help in covering your costs once you're no longer getting a paycheck. There are definitely steps you can take to enhance the amount of your retirement benefits. According to Social Security experts, claiming early at age 62 will result in the permanent reduction of your Social Security check by up to 30%. Waiting until age 70, however, has the opposite effect. For every year that you delay claiming past full retirement age, your monthly benefits will get an 8% bonus. That amounts to a whopping 24% if you wait until age 70. Even if you never worked before, you may be eligible for spousal Social Security benefits. That amounts to a whopping 24% if you wait to file until age 70. Now, even if you never worked before, you may be eligible for spousal Social Security benefits, and these can reach as much as 50% of your spouse's,
and be prepared to work together on future cases. The immediate issues I've highlighted call for urgent action. At the same time, we must not lose sight of the big picture, longer-run challenges, particularly in developing countries. And the remainder of my remarks will focus on these challenges, what they mean for developing countries, and how to address them. The last several decades have seen substantial alleviation of world poverty, but recent crises are eroding those gains. At least 75 million additional people are facing extreme poverty this year.
benefit if you want to file until full retirement age. Even if you're divorced, you may be entitled to spousal benefits if you were originally married for at least 10 years. Depending on your work history, it's very possible that you are entitled to a spousal benefit bonus that amounts to more than your own Social Security payout. Every year, the Social Security Administration reviews benefit payouts and adjusts them upwards based on the current rate of inflation. In some years, like 2010 and 2016, the COLA was 0%, as inflation was essentially non-existent. But in January 2022, Social Security recipients received a big bonus in the form of a 5.8% COLA. Social Security beneficiaries could see another record cost of living adjustment in 2023. To calculate the COLA each year, the SSA compares Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers from the third quarter to the third quarter of the prior year. If inflation subsides, there is the possibility of a lower adjustment or even no increase for next year or in 2024. Much of that will depend on how fast the Federal Reserve's efforts to tamp down inflation by rising interest rates take effect. One possibility is inflation becoming deflation when prices start going down. And according to Senior Citizens League, that points to a cost of living adjustment of 8.6%.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
So I get the fact that it's, you're probably going to say, well, it doesn't increase shareholder value by doing a split, but you do open it up to a different class or a larger class of investors, do you not?
Absolutely. So let's confess that there's no additional value to shareholders. It doesn't change the market cap, but it does introduce it to retail investors. And I'm a sucker for a good old-fashioned stock.
We have a ton of news about the Ford stimulus check. Here it is. And hitting an alarming 40-year high in June, the Federal Reserve's preferred benchmark for consumer inflation, is once again flashing a warning sign about the persistence of high prices. The Bureau of Economic Analysis said that the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index for August rose 6.2% from a year ago, following a revised July reading of 6.5%. The core inflation measure excludes the categories of food and energy. It's one of the most number one watched closely by Fed policymakers. The latest inflation data puts more pressure on Jerome Powell, who has vowed to make taming inflation the central bank's overarching focus. The Fed has been battling to get runaway inflation under control for months by raising its benchmark interest rate, initiating the most aggressive tightening cycle in 4 decades, with a total of 5 increases so far this year, including 3 back-to-back hikes. Over 3/4 of a percentage point each single quarter. And to date, economists say that the minimal extent to which headline inflation has moderated is almost entirely a function of lower energy costs. This is reflected in the stubborn persistence of high core inflation, which backs out energy as well as food prices. According to CNN, it's actually bad news for the Fed. It's a primary policy tool. Raising interest rates and making it more expensive to borrow money in order to cool demand has had no effect on the supply shocks that have characterized the current inflation situation. So, something definitely needs to be done about this, and President Biden should send us stimulus checks before it gets too late. New stimulus relief money is going to be starting it. Congress is finally working on getting more financial assistance out to you right now. Especially if you're on Social Security or SSI or SSDI, you'll get the stimulus checks pretty soon. New Jersey lawmakers are moving to correct an error that would have delayed the implementation of a state-level child tax credit, everybody. Yes, a state-level child tax. Early this year, the state legislature passed, and New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy signed into law a bill that is currently offering New Jersey residents a per-child refundable income tax credit of up to $500. As a result of a drafting error, the version of the bill signed into law will only become effective in the next year, leaving the credit unpaid for 2022. In the official statement, officials have said the bill was always meant to provide immediate relief to families with younger children, so we're thankful lawmakers are coming back to get it right. Programs like the child tax credit are exactly how we make New Jersey an affordable place to raise a family, especially for those struggling with the most high costs and rising costs. New Jersey, of policy perspective, and other progressive groups have also pushed for the inclusion of a state-level child tax credit. And some have even said that they will look to work with lawmakers to expand the credit in future years. Tom Wolf says a $25 million child tax care credit will benefit at least 200,000 families in Pennsylvania. The governor's office says the program will give back to $180 to $630 to Pennsylvania families.
Madam Speaker, let me wish you good morning, and my good friend, Mr. Cole, good morning. It feels like just a couple of hours ago I was saying good morning. But let me say to the gentleman, he looks marvelous for getting